Good morning, gentlemen. How are you all? This is Mr. Mohammed Atef. I'm going to work with you on Full Blast 6. As you know, we are working on the distance learning. I wish to see you back in the school in better circumstances, inshallah. I really miss you guys. So let's go and let's start today's lesson. This is where we stopped last time. We already studied the reading part in this lesson about feeling sleepy, and we learned some facts about sleeping. Now let's move to the grammar part in the lesson. So please open your books to page 25, the students or the course book to page 25. So the first part we will study with, we will start with today is the grammar part. And as you see, gentlemen, so the grammar part today is about the ing form, how to use the ing form, and in what cases we see it in the sentence. We actually see verb plus ing at the beginning of the sentence as sentence number 1, exercising is good for your health. So we have it in the beginning of the sentence sometimes, and we also have it in the middle of the sentence after some forms like here, I went to bed after watching news. So after, we use after plus verb plus ing, after watching. You also use verb plus ing or what we call gerund after some verbs like love and like. You know some more verbs that we discussed before. So Harry loves staying up late, but he hates waking up early. So after love and hate, we use verb plus ing. Love staying, hates waking up. So we have love and hate. We also have like. After like, we use verb plus ing. Like, I don't feel like going out for dinner. Don't say, I don't feel like to go out for dinner or go out for dinner. It's going out for dinner. Because like, love, and hate, all of them are followed by verb plus ing. We have some more verbs, gentlemen, that can be followed by verb plus ing, like enjoy. I enjoy eating pizza, for example. So you use enjoy plus verb plus ing. We have some more things that we need to bear in mind here. Let's look at these sentences. Brian stopped drinking coffee. So after stopped, use verb plus ing. He stopped drinking coffee. But when I say Brian stopped to drink coffee, you can also say Brian stopped to drink coffee, but here the meaning is totally different. What's the difference here in meaning between Brian stopped drinking coffee and Brian stopped to drink coffee? The difference here is when you say he stopped drinking coffee, so he doesn't drink coffee anymore. He stopped this action. He doesn't, you know, he no longer drinks coffee. But when you say Brian stopped to drink coffee, so it means that he stopped an action, a certain action, in order to drink coffee. Like, for example, he was walking and he stopped to drink coffee. So this is the meaning of the second sentence. But when I say he stopped drinking coffee, so he doesn't drink it anymore. We also have difference between I remember sending that letter and remember to send that letter today. I remember sending that letter means that I sent it before and I remember doing this action. But when you say remember to send that letter, I'm giving you here a reminder or an order to send me that letter. So remember to send that letter to me. Don't forget. So here it means don't forget to send it. But when I say I remember sending that letter, so I sent it in the past and I remember that I did this action. I hope this point is clear to you. So basically today's lesson is about the ing form, gentlemen. We need to exercise now or to practice in order to get the information stuck in our mind. So let's look at this exercise. Now you're asked here in this exercise to use the ing form of the verbs or infinitive. So you whether use the infinitive or ing form of the verbs between brackets here. So you whether, like for example, number 1, you have buy between brackets. So you whether say to buy as an infinitive or buy or buying. So let's check this together. Number 1, I've decided. Is it I've decided to buy, or I've decided buying, or I've decided buy? a new bed. What do you think, gentlemen? I've decided it's to buy. So look at this. You decide to do something. You decide to do something. Don't say, I've decided buying. No, this is wrong. So after some specific verbs, use the infinitive, which is to plus verb. And decide is one of them. Don't forget this. So decide to plus verb. Don't say decide buying. No, wrong. Now, would you like to help or helping or help me? What do you think? It's would you like to help me. So again, would you like plus to plus verb. Okay, now I want you to think about the next one. Sure, I don't mind to come or coming with you. What do you think? I don't mind coming. Why? Because don't mind plus verb plus ing. You know, my mom makes me to tidy or tidying or tidy my room. It's tidy. Why? Because make plus verb base form, we call it bare infinitive, gentlemen. So this is the verb without ing, without to, even to before it, no to before it. So make plus base form, make plus verb without additions, without ing, without to, without anything. I can't stand to do or doing housework. What do you think? I can't stand doing. Why? Because can't stand is followed by verb plus ing. Sally enjoys, I've just said this, Sally enjoys making or to make. I heard you, it's making, correct. Why? Because enjoy is followed by verb plus ing. Yesterday we stopped at the supermarket. We stopped at the supermarket. Getting or to get the ingredients. To get the ingredients. To make or making one, to make one again. So to here is to show the purpose of something. So you stopped for the sake of something, to do something. So there is a purpose here. We spent an hour. We spent an hour driving or to drive? What do you think? We spent an hour driving. You spend time doing something. So you spend time doing verb plus ing. But we couldn't find or to find or finding. Don't forget, couldn't is an auxiliary verb. And I've mentioned this to you before, gentlemen. Auxiliary verbs are in English are like will, would, can, could, shall, should, and also must. And don't forget may and might. All of them are auxiliary verbs and all of them are followed by base form of the verb, which is verb without ing and without to. So here, couldn't find, okay? Now, I hope this part is clear to you. So let me sum it up quickly. Decide plus to plus verb. Would you like plus to plus verb. I don't mind plus gerund, verb plus ing. Make plus bare infinitive, no to, no ing, just the verb. I can't stand plus verb plus ing. Enjoy plus ing, verb plus ing. And then when you want to mention the purpose, why you do something, use to plus verb. And you spend time doing something. You spend time plus verb plus ing. And the last one, auxiliary verbs. Don't forget, all of them are followed by the base form of the verb without ing. Now, let's move to the next part in the same page. So this is the listening part, gentlemen. Now, you get to... Now, listen to 4 people describing their dreams who had a nightmare. You will listen to 4 people now talking about their dreams. One of them had a nightmare. I want you to figure this out. Which person among the 4 speaking here had a nightmare? So listen and tell me, gentlemen.
4. Listen. A. Listen to 4 people describing their dreams. Who had a nightmare? Sonia.
I was walking in a big field and it was a lovely sunny day. I started running down a hill faster and faster until I took off. I was flying high above the ground over forests and towns. I kept going higher and higher. It was a wonderful feeling.
Harry.
I was at school and I was taking an exam, but I hadn't studied for it. Then the teacher was my uncle, and we weren't at school anymore. We were at his house.
Come on,
let's go swimming, he said. But I didn't have my swimsuit with me. Anyway, the water was frozen, so we couldn't go. But it was weird because it wasn't cold at all. What can all that mean?
Isabel. I was sitting at home watching TV when I noticed something go past the window. I went to look and suddenly I saw a huge eye looking in at me. Then an enormous arm crashed through the wall. It was just like the documentary about wild animals I was watching earlier that day. I ran upstairs, but I felt something following me. I continued running and suddenly my legs felt really heavy and I couldn't move them. I woke up screaming for help. I'm not watching documentaries again. Tony.
I was getting ready to play football, but I wasn't sure which team I was playing for. I followed the other players out of the dressing room and into a huge stadium. Then I realised I was playing for the national team in the World Cup. I was quite nervous, but when the game started, I fitted into the team well and I had loads of chances to score. Unfortunately, I woke up before the end of the match, so I don't know what the score was.
So now I guess you guys figured out which one of them had the nightmare. If you didn't figure this out, you can listen to the recording one more time so you can repeat this part. Now, do you know the answer? Let's check. So the third person, Isabel, is the one who had a nightmare. Let's move to further questions about this listening audio track. Listen again and match the statements with the people. Now, I'm not gonna play this recording again. You guys can go back to this part and listen again one more time to the recording. So let's check the answers together now. Sonia, Harry, Isabel, and Tony. Now, what about Sonia? So which sentence here is matching to her? I wanted to find out what happened in the end, or my dream didn't make any sense, so my dream has no meaning, or I could do something people cannot do, or I know why I had this dream. According to what you listened, let's check.
I was walking in a big field and it was a lovely sunny day. I started running down a hill faster and faster until I took off. I was flying high above the ground over forests and towns. I kept going higher and higher. It was a wonderful feeling.
So she flew over forests and mountains, and that was a wonderful feeling for her. So which sentence here is matching? Let's check. I could do something people cannot do. Nobody can fly, so this makes sense. Now, Harry.
I was at school and I was taking an exam, but I hadn't studied for it. Then the teacher was my uncle, and we weren't at school anymore. We were at his house. Come on, let's go swimming, he said. But I didn't have my swimsuit with me. Anyway, the water was frozen, so we couldn't go. But it was weird because it wasn't cold at all. What can all that mean?
So the water was frozen, and actually it wasn't cold. How come? So he didn't understand the dream. What do you think? I believe that his dream didn't make any sense. Let's check. Yes, his dream didn't make any sense, so it has no meaning. Isabel.
I was sitting at home watching TV when I noticed something go past the window. I went to look and suddenly I saw a huge eye looking in at me. Then an enormous arm crashed through the wall. It was just like the documentary about wild animals I was watching earlier that day. I ran upstairs, but I felt something following me. I continued running and suddenly my legs felt really heavy and I couldn't move them. I woke up screaming for help.
Okay, so she was watching TV and suddenly she noticed something passing outside the window. She wanted to figure what this is. And actually she felt, or she saw an arm breaking into the wall. And she recognized that she has seen this before in one of the documentaries. So what do you believe here, gents? What do you think? She wanted to find out what happened in the end, or she knows why she had this dream? I believe the answer is the last one. Let's check. I know why I had this dream, because of watching lots of documentaries. And the last one, Tony, for sure is he wanted to find out what happened in the end. Now, that was about this listening.
I'm not watching
Okay, now let's...
documentaries again.
Okay, let's move to the next part of the lesson. Okay, so the next part here, gentlemen, is speaking and writing. This is supposed to be done in pairs in class, so we cannot do here. We cannot do this part here, gentlemen. Let's move to the, I believe, the workbook. So please open your workbook now to page 89. Page 89. We did already exercises A and B in class, as far as I remember. So let's move to exercise C in the same page, 89, please, gentlemen. Now, rewrite the sentences starting with the words given. Use infinitive or ing form. When I say infinitive, I mean whether full infinitive, to plus verb, or bare infinitive, verb without to. And when I say ing, it's so clear. It's just verb plus ing. So let's look at example number 1. That museum is very interesting. You should visit it. That museum is worth. Use visit. Is worth to visit or visiting? What do you think? That museum is worth visiting is the right answer. Now, let's go to the zoo on Friday. I suggest use the verb go. I suggest to go or going to the zoo on Friday. It's going to the zoo on Friday because after suggest, use verb plus ing. Brian forgot to take the letters to the post office. Brian didn't remember. Didn't remember. Taking or to take? What do you think? It's to take the letters to the post office. Remember and forget. Both of them are followed by full infinitive, to plus verb. So forget, to plus verb. Remember, to plus verb. Don't forget this, please. Now, I'd love to be able to travel all year round. Or imagine. After imagine, what do you think? Is it full infinitive, to plus verb, or verb plus ing? Imagine. Travel, being able to travel. So imagine plus verb plus ing. Imagine being able to travel all year round. Now, we saw Phil at the cafe. We are happy. So we are happy. We were happy to see or seeing Phil at the cafe. It's to see Phil at the cafe. You are happy to do something. We would like to go for a walk along the beach. We feel like, verb plus ing or to plus verb. It is verb plus ing. So we feel like going for a walk on the beach. Bill didn't want to show us his new painting. Bill refused to show us or showing us. What do you think? It's to show us. Now, I'd like you to stop making that noise, please. Will you stop or to stop or stopping? It's will you stop because this is an auxiliary verb. Okay? Now, next page is actually this is the last page that we will do today, gentlemen, which is page 90. This is the rest of the exercises of this lesson. So complete the dialogues with bare or full infinitive again and again. Bare infinitive is the verb without to. Full infinitive is to plus verb. And ing is the gerund, which is, verb plus ing is so easy. Now, complete this with the verbs in brackets. So this is a conversation between Darren and Barry. Darren says, "Hi Barry, what's up?" "Not much." Darren says, "How is the study group going?" "Well, we have stopped." Number one, we have stopped what? To meet or meeting for the moment? We have stopped. It's meeting. You can say to meet, but the meaning will be different, as I mentioned before. Why is that? My parents don't let us. After let, if you guys remember, we studied this before. Let plus, it's bare infinitive. Let us get, without to, without ing. Now, again, we couldn't stand. We couldn't stand what? We couldn't stand hearing. Okay? Now, we're trying to find or finding. It's to find. How about going or what? How about asking or to ask? How about asking and Okay, gentlemen, this page was the last page of today's lesson. Now we still have page 90. Please do it yourselves as homework, and I'll give you the feedback next time. Thank you, gentlemen. That was Mr. Mohammed Atef with you, and good luck.